What I think is even more telling, which I think is a bigger part of this whole story, is what actually happened at the final press corps meeting today with the real president of the United States, as I often like to say.
Satan.
Well, Tony Blinken is a lot of things. I don't know if Tony Blinken has reached the level of John Bolton, but he's certainly pretty close. And
I got to tell you, this administration is like, I honestly feel like that Joe Biden and Blinken's, like, this Department of State is the worst in my entire life.
Oh, they're up there with Bush now. Oh, absolutely.
And Bush, that was 2 terms. Biden's been able to reach that level in 1. That's a great point. Blinken is a psychopath. He is okay with murder, and he absolutely does not believe that Palestinians are worth anything. He
was one of the architects of the Iraq War. Speaking of which, so he brought his architecture of the Iraq War into his viewpoint on and his handling of Israel, because he is an ardent, raging Zionist with an agenda, a specific agenda, and he was open about that agenda during the Iraq War. So this is nothing new with Blinken.
No, he's horrible.
Always be wary of little men. And Tony Blinken is a little
man.
And our friend, Max Blumenthal, let him have it today in a way that is kind of a perfect send-off in many ways. But
and then the other journalist, I forget his name.
Sam Husseini. We're going to get to that clip in a second. But here's Max Blumenthal giving a proper fuck you farewell to the real president of the United States, Tony Blinken.
300 reporters in Gaza were on the receiving end of your bombs. Why did you keep the bombs flowing when we had a deal in May? We all knew we had a deal. Everyone in this room knows we had a deal, Tony, and you kept the bombs flowing. Why did you sacrifice the rules-based order on the mantle of your commitment to Zionism? Why did you allow my friends to be massacred? Why did you allow my friends' homes in Gaza to be destroyed when we had a deal in May? You helped destroy our religion, Judaism, by associating it with fascism. You waved the white flag before Netanyahu. You waved the white flag before Israeli fascism.
We'll have the time to take questions
Your
at the end.
father-in-law was an Israel lobbyist. Your grandfather was an Israel lobbyist. Are you compromised by Israel? Why did you allow the Holocaust of our time to happen? How does it feel to have your legacy be genocide? How does it feel to have your legacy be genocide? You too, Matt. You smirked through the whole thing every day.
I just have to say,
I have not seen this yet. I haven't seen it. I saw the other perspective. I saw the person shooting Max in third person. I haven't seen this. This is awesome to see Max's perspective from this same.
Could you believe that Count Smirkula? That's good, man.
Count Smirkula. That's what I was about to say.
But Miller, with that freaking look on his face, he just can't help himself. Some people really do have like Hillary Clinton has.
Okay, so we got Blinken.
It's Cooper's delight. There's a name for it. Narcissist. I'm not diagnosing him with narcissism, but obviously, we can. But anyway, narcissists have a tendency to do what is called duper's delight and smile uncontrollably. Like they can't help it, and it comes through. And I see it on him constantly. It's like he can't hide that he's.
It's also when they know they're lying. I also
exactly
think people know they're being duplicitous. They know.
Final word from
these are psychopaths.
Final word from Max.
You smirked through a genocide.
Thank you.
Smirk through a genocide. But if you thought that was bad.
He's the ace of clubs, by the way, for anybody who's interested. Again, I haven't pulled him out in a while, but we've got war criminal cards at thewarcriminals.com, and get yourself some of these. It supports Palestinian children. And that douche, Matthew Miller, is the ace of clubs. Blinken's king of spades. So, but yeah, we're You're
saying that, Matt. Well, technically, the ace of clubs has more value than the king of spades. So you're saying
technically, but that's only because each suit is a different thing. So the spades are all the White House. So you're not going to have Blinken above Biden. So Biden's the ace of spades, but the clubs are all the talking heads of empire. So the clubs are all the spokespeople. So he's the highest in that douche group.
So Ryan Grimm was also there in the press court today.
He looked like he wanted the world to open up and suck him in.
Yeah, he took the back shot. But this is Sam Husseini, who has been hypercritical of the real president of the United States. He got dragged out of there today. This is pretty bad.
Free people. You pontificate about a free press. You pontificate about a free press. You are hurting me. You are hurting me. You are hurting me. I am asking questions after being told by Matt Miller that he will not answer my questions until I'm asking questions. Wasn't the point of the May 31st statement to block the ICJ orders? You blocked the ICJ orders.
Please, sir, respect the process.
Respect the process. Respect the process. While everybody from Amnesty International. From Amnesty International to the ICJ saying that Israel's doing genocide and extermination, and you're telling me to respect the process.
Shame on every other person in that room for just sitting there.
I'm so angry at the woman in purple right now. Sorry. Oh my God, I can't believe he's acting
Every
this
single
all
person in that room is complicit. Screw
How
all
about
those-
the guy? How about the Nick Fuentes looking guy with the smirk on his face?
These
I can't
people.
stand it. These are supposed to be journalists.
Oh, he already said it. So as he's being dragged out, the last thing he said before he's dragged out the door is, "You should be in the Hague."
You should be in the Hague.
And he should. Of all the people that should be in the Hague, Tony Blinken's number one on the list, as far as I'm concerned.
Of this administration, we'd have to.
Why aren't you in the Hague? He
Why aren't
framed
you in the Hague?
everything in a question, and I thought that was brilliant. Because that's a good question. Why is he not in the Hague?
Yeah. Well, because you have a whole room of complicit people like that. Case in point, every single journalist in that room who sat and just like cowered, like, oh, I hope they don't do that to me. You're a coward. You're a coward.
If it had come to me and I was sitting in that room, I would have asked the next question. I'd have written down his questions and I would have asked one. And if they ignored that one, I would have asked another and then another and another until they drug me out too.
Exactly.
And I would hope that every single person would follow in behind that. But people aren't willing. There's no Edward R. Murrows today, not in corporate media.
No. Well, they've all had to leave. Anybody who didn't support the first war in Iraq got basically ousted from mainstream media, and then they cut off all foreign correspondence, so they don't ever have that, and they just take talking points from the State Department. So
they stopped hiring journalists. They stopped hiring journalists. They started hiring, no offense to you, Jen, but they started hiring lawyers, and they started hiring corporate executives, and they started hiring folks like that. They stopped hiring beat journalists that do the work on the ground.
But in all fairness to me, I actually did go to school for journalism and have a master's in it. So in all fairness,
did you really?
I did. I
didn't know that. That's cool.
Yeah, I was a journalism person before I went to law school.
So
I'm just saying I'm not completely like out of left field. That's all I'm saying. No, I'm not completely out of
it. Did you say she pulled rank?
Yeah, she pulled rank. Yeah,
that's well, she's got one up on me. I only have a bachelor's, so.
No, but I've been around.
Not overly educated.
But I will tell you, I've been around those upper class liberals, and they really do live by the credentials. Like that is a measure in life that matters. Like you are nothing without a higher education. It doesn't matter what you do. There is a level of acceptance that comes with being an Ivy League scumbag. Doesn't matter if you're a scumbag. It just matters that you're Ivy League. Like to them, very, very, very important, especially.
In journalism, if you didn't go to Northwestern, you could have gone to an amazing school. If you didn't go to Northwestern, or you didn't go to oh God, Jen, don't tell me you went to Northwestern. You did. Oh no. It is true though. You can't get hired if you didn't go to Northwestern.
No, I went there for grad school. I actually went to Medill journalism for a master's degree. So my undergrad's from Colorado, but yeah, I actually did go to Northwestern. And it is really nice. I will say.
And it's a great school for journalism. It really is. Yeah. But I went to an amazing school for journalism, one of the best in the country, Southeastern Kentucky University. And
I'm a firm believer that great education can be had in lots of places from great teachers. I went to a 4th-tier law school, and my professors were amazing. I had a great education. I honestly got the same. I don't think there would be anything different other than, yes, more competitive students. But in terms of the quality of my education, it wouldn't have been different if I went to a top-tier school.
Yeah.
So I fully get that. And, you know, in all fairness, I will tell you the only reason I think I even got into Northwestern, it was the second year of that master's program, the IMC program. And so I think they were like just really desperate for bodies, but we don't know. We'll never know the truth.
I'm sure you earned it, but
Maybe.
It's hard. It's expensive is the thing, is a lot of the barriers.
Oh.
I couldn't afford it. I got accepted into Yale. One, they didn't have a program for single mothers. Two, there was no way in hell I could go to Yale.
How could you?
How would I
live
ever
here?
in a million years? And it was one of the only few schools that had the track that I wanted to go on, because I wanted to do internet law and I wanted to protect against censorship online.
Huh.
And this was back in 2014 is when I started applying to do that. But yeah, I've noticed this barrier. I have noticed a barrier in journalism. It either comes to, you have to, if you have an Ivy League education and you're not a seasoned journalist that's worked beat on the ground, or you are, they have so many people that are talking heads that used to be CEOs of Fortune 500s. If you look at their roster, that's like half of their people that they have now that are in broadcast, because broadcast and print are a lot different, but we're seeing print going that same way too.
Well, they
But
can't
the ones who's sitting in that room, there's corporatists themselves that are sitting in that room. There's people from the caste system, from that upper echelon and upper crust, and they're just as appalled as Blinken is that Sam Husseini would stand up and speak. And in their minds, journalism isn't a place for protest. Well, what's the freaking point of the fourth estate if you're not asking the right questions? Yeah.
Well, and I think what's interesting, I'm actually surprised, quite honestly, that they still allow Max in the room. That was the first thing that I found surprising, because I know that's not the first time he's been pulled out of a press room. So I'm surprised that he still gets back in. And that to me is why they all sit there and keep their mouths shut, because they don't want to forego their invitation to the club. And I get it. Like I like Ryan Grimm. He's a nice guy. You know, I have no beef with him whatsoever, but he wouldn't do that.
That's not his style.
No, of course not. And he also is someone that does work on the inside and needs to have access on the inside to be able to be of any help to the cause, you know, so you can't have everybody be kicked out.
I think there's a difference between being on the inside and working for the inside. I think he is on the inside, but I don't see Ryan as somebody who's trying to adhere to the status quo and keep it as it is. Whereas somebody like Matt Miller is 1000% trying to keep things as it is, because it serves him. It serves him well. The reason he's got that smirk on his face in part is because he's sociopathic, but on another part of it is, I'm in the club and you are not. I like that there's also this very schoolyard type of shit about like, I'm with the cool people and you're not with the cool people. Like, I get invited to the Georgetown parties and you don't. And to him, that matters. To him, that's fulfilling in life. It's like, you're Sidney Blumenthal's son, and you're never going to get invited to any of these places because you decided not to play the game. I played the game, and I did it the right way. Yeah, Trump will be in for 4 years, but I'm going to sit on the board of a nonprofit in D.C. for the next 4 years. And then the Democrats will win in 4 years, at least in his mind they will. And I'll be right back where I need to be. That's how they see it.
You noticed that I'm thinking about it, and I have seen Ryan push them like that before. They just haven't picked him up and drug him out.
That's true. I've seen him.
I've seen him ask Husseini on purpose, and I think that did they remove Max, or did Max just push them?
They removed him.
Okay, they took Max out.
They removed Sam first. So here's what I'm thinking. No, they didn't.
Max first.
Okay.
And because when Max gets removed, you could see Sam still sitting there and filming it.
Okay.
So it was the opposite. But but Max stood up and sort of willingly walked out. They kind of could, but they didn't have to drag him out. And it also wasn't 3 security people. When it was
they targeted him because he is a Middle Eastern man. Sam Husseini, they targeted him on purpose, and I think they targeted Matt on purpose. There were other people that asked some tough questions today, but I have seen Ryan pushed. I mean, to his credit, but I will say that I was disappointed. I mean, this isn't toward Ryan. I do think he does great reporting, but I was disappointed in the entire room
Exactly.
for that after not having proper solidarity. Journalists no longer have solidarity.
None.
Cutthroat.
Zero.
Cutthroat. No, there's none.
Zero.